Great. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks for allowing us to present today. I'm the CEO of Exploits Discovery, Jeff Swinoga. My past, before joining this company 2 months ago, I was the national mining leader for Ernst & Young Canada. I was also before that, I was the CEO of First Mining Gold. I was also executive at Torex Gold, North American Palladium, Golden Star. I was also at Barrick back in the early 2000s, and the CFO of Hudbay Minerals. So very pleased to be at this company. Let me tell you a little bit about the Newfoundland Gold Rush first, and then we'll get into Exploits Discovery. So the Newfoundland Gold Rush basically started about 3 or 4 years ago when Newfound Gold was exploring, and they had this hypothesis that these major deep faults in Newfoundland had gold, maybe similar to Fosterville. You know, Fosterville is probably arguably the most profitable mine in the world with the high grade that they found in the Swan Zone. So sure enough, after 2 years of exploring, they hit the Keats Zone. Market cap grew to $1.3 billion, and they're doing very well. They found Lotto, and others have been exploring the area. Now, around the same time, probably about a year ago, Exploits Discovery started gathering up all this land and doing the same thing. So let me walk you through the story. But the 3 key things that are important to remember is that we've got lots of land. I believe we have the largest land package in Newfoundland. It's all around Newfound Gold. Again, the first mover advantage. Second is that we've got a great exploration model and team. We're using everyone from David Groves, who is a 70-year-old researcher with great credibility, Goldspot with their new technology with AI and machine learning. And then we've got great guys on the ground in Gander, Newfoundland, that I had the pleasure to visit many times over the last couple months. Third is we've got $13 million in cash. Shares are very liquid, trade about 200 to 300,000 shares per day. Very well supported. Eric Sprott owns 20% of the company. And also Newfound Gold owns about 12%. So all great ingredients for a great company to start off with. Just a bit on our capital structure. We've got just over 100 million shares outstanding. Of course, we've got 30 million warrants and about 8 million options. You can see the share price chart below, above and to the side, is that the company started off, it was trading around 40, 50 cents, and then when Eric bought in, it ballooned to about 150, almost 160. And then Eric bought in again, and then it went up again. So since that time, we've created a very strong base as we started our exploration program, our drilling, and again, we're very attractive at this price as we start embarking upon the execution of our exploration program. Talked about myself already. We've got a great team. A little bit on David Groves, again, tremendous individual. I'll probably speak to him 3 times a week. Yeah, he helps to kind of validate some of the things that we see on the ground and with what Goldspot's doing with the new technology. He believes that any geologist over 50 is a good geologist. So when you have the stars align between someone of that seniority who's trained some of the world top geologists and to align with Goldspot and the team on the ground, you know you have something really good happening. So real pleasure working with him. And so just if I step back to last year, you can see, and this is amazing how early days this was. If you think about it in the context of the Abitibi camp and how it grew over the last number of decades. But what you see in blue is what Newfound has. And so they have, the major faults are going through it. I'll go through it in more detail. But blue is where Newfound is, and then we're in red. So we started staking back in September of last year. So you go a couple months forward into December. We accumulated more land around Newfound. It started to get a little more crowded as people are staking claims. And then you go to June of this year. You can see very busy. So lots of property being staked. So you can't get what we have now. So it's very strategically positioned. And again, we've got the largest land package in the area. So very, very pleased. Just a time frame to show that we've started our journey. Which is, I think, joining at this time is very exciting, based on what is done historically. Not much has been, like if you look at some of the surveys they've done, if you look at some of the companies that have been there over the last couple of decades, really hasn't been a major focus, but now it is. And maybe just stepping back to how all of these faults got created. So you basically have the North American fault, and you have North American continent, you have the African continent colliding together, creating this induction where one is sliding over the other. And this is how large orogenic gold discoveries are typically found if you look at Australia and other places. So these massive fluid flows are coming up, and the pressure and the heat creating great things. So you see the magnitude of this as well. These faults go all the way from North Carolina to Finland. So it's tremendous. And again, so you have these oceanic crusts coming together, folding, pressure coming up. And the easy way to think about this is like a snow shovel. So you think about snow being scraped. I'm from Canada, so we use snow, so as an example. So the snow kind of moving over and creating these anticlines and the fluids coming up. And then the gold actually is not in the main thrusts that are coming up orogenically. It's the secondary, tertiary structures where the pressure is reduced, the heat dissipates a bit, and the gold precipitates into these secondary structures. That's where we typically see the gold. So this is a slide I lifted from David Groves, where in Australia they talk about these massive faults going down 20, 30 kilometers, almost analogous to what we're seeing in Newfoundland, and they call this the fingers of God. So as far as I know, there's been no magnetic telluric studies done in Newfoundland. So we're in the early days of looking at this to see whether we can actually find fingers of God in Newfoundland. And if we do, I mean, we'll find out where the gold is more prominent, to be honest. Like, is it on the Appleton? Is it Dog Bay? And others. So it's early days, and we're very excited to help unlock what we have there. So just to orient yourself, that little square is where we are and where Newfound is. And then just a summary of our exploration program. So we've been flying VTEM. We've done almost 18,000 line kilometers. Again, using Goldspot's data, we give them all of our data. And we actually had them on the ground about 2 weeks ago when I was there. So I posted a LinkedIn on that if you ever want to see a sort of summary of what was going on. David Groves also did a 3-hour presentation on what he sees. And then also we've done some SGH sampling, and that was used with great success with Great Bear. So we're using all the techniques that we can to accelerate our discovery. And a little more specifically, here are some of the drill targets that we have. So first drill target we had was Schooner. It literally is off the road. The first drill hole is literally like 5 feet. So easily accessible. We haven't got all the assays back for Schooner. Then we went to Quinlan Veins. We drilled there. That's on the Appleton Fault. And then we went over to Jonathan's Pond, and we drilled there. And then we moved the drill back over to Schooner. So then what we're doing next now is going to Little Joanna. Little Joanna looks very interesting because it's got a major jog, inflection point, and it kind of lines up with a lot of the research that we see. And then we're going to tackle the north along the Appleton. We can go to Appleton North. We've got a target called Deuter. We've got a target called Titan. The key here is that we've got lots of targets. So it's not like we have one small postage stamp and we drill that and whether it makes it or not. So we've got numerous targets that we're looking at. And then next year, probably in the summertime, we'll look at tackling the south, down at True Grit and others. So that's and maybe just a couple quick slides on some of the veining that we see. This is Jonathan's Pond. You see the nice quartz vein going through the landscape there. Let's go. There it is, and it continues all the way through. And if you look off to the right, we've got some great channel sampling. There we found a boulder called Paul's Boulder, which had 700 grams per ton of gold. So very, very good stuff that we're seeing in Jonathan's Pond. And then basically just to sum up, this is the difference. We're using all the great exploration techniques we can. We're still embarking upon a journey here, so it's going to be great to watch us, to follow us, and join us along our path. Very well supported, major shareholders. Everyone knows Eric Sprott. David Groves has been instrumental in his research. Our local team is tremendous and very happy to have them. And then also with Goldspot, they're very supportive as well. And Newfound's also a shelter. So anyway, that's me. So thank you very much.